All right. Furiosa. Man, I was so pumped for this movie. And to be honest, I was just so excited about this movie because Mad Max movies are kind of unique things where you don't get them that often. And when you do, they're always interesting. Even the worst one in this franchise is interesting. George Miller puts his heart and soul into these things. And God, even when he puts out a bad movie, that dude always puts out interesting stuff. I mean, if you haven't seen 3,000 Years of Longing, I recommend that. But yeah, George Miller did a great job with the Mad Max series up until this point. Fury Road was the best it had ever been, and that's crazy because that's, like we're talking like 2015 to like the 80s. Like that's like 30, 40 year gap, and he puts out the best one then. And now we have the second best one. This is an interesting movie for a couple reasons. This movie is a prequel, giving us the backstory of Furiosa, of course. And that's interesting because up until this point, this franchise is so catered to Mad Max, that character and his story and his dynamic. And it's the Mad Max saga. It's a big, epic, grand story. And this movie is really the first time this franchise had taken a different lead protagonist. But yet, Mad Max Saga is still in the story. This movie is an odyssey about this character and her journey, and it's really fascinating stuff. I was surprised how much young Furiosa is in the movie, quite a bit, and she carries almost most of the movie. Then about halfway through, Anya Taylor-Joy comes in, carries the movie in a very different way. This might be Anya Taylor-Joy's one of her best performances. I wouldn't say it's her best performance, but it's definitely one of her best. It's up there for me. She is so good in this role. She gave everything to the stunts and everything involved behind the scenes, if you can read all that. She is so good in this role. And yeah, and then you got Chris Hemsworth in this movie, who if I did not know before going into this movie that was Chris Hemsworth, I would not have known it's him. But because I knew it was him, like I was able to just recognize the voice. But yeah, he is incredible in this movie. He is wonderful in this movie. He is so good. And he gives it all. He's an incredible villain. You hate him. You love him. He's entertaining. And that's everything you want in Mad Max villain. And yeah, all the stunts are awesome in this movie, of course. This movie looks gorgeous. It's got great cinematography. But there is a negative with this movie. And it's not a big negative. I think more people are complaining about this, but I don't really see it, guys. Which is that the CGI does not look as good as Fury Road. First of all, I think we need to stop with the Fury Road comparisons. It is really hard not to compare this movie to Fury Road. I get that. But the reality is, Fury Road is like a once-in-a-lifetime type movie. We will never have that again. And this movie is a great follow-up to that, and it adds a lot to that movie, where if you watch his movies back-to-back, straight adds so much to the Fury Road. Like, if you watched this movie, then immediately jumped into Fury Road, it would add so much to that movie. It would make an incredible experience. Like, if you just watch these as one big movie, kind of like the Lord of the Rings movies, you can kind of watch those as one big movie in a way. It's kind of like that. And I think that's nice to do. But I think this movie gets hurt by a little bit of the visual effects not being as strong. But as I said, like, it really doesn't matter because Fury Road is not that. Is a once-in-a-lifetime movie. And honestly, watching this movie on the big IMAX screen, I didn't really notice. I just saw other people complaining about it, so I thought I would bring it up too. And there was a couple shots that were like, alright, that's a little more green screen than I would have liked. But even then, it's like, it's not really as noticeable as people make it out to be. The IMAX looked great. The film looked incredible. It was incredibly well shot. The sound design of this movie was great. And just seeing this character, what she turns into, fucking incredible. Love this movie, and I cannot wait to watch it again when it hits on video.